And it's leaving. We just lost Danny. We just lost Danny. Welcome to Speculation Sunday on a Monday. It is so hot today. It is so hot. It's crazy. Danny.
That was my bad.
No, it's all good. I was like, we lost him. Everything good?
No, it was my bad. I accidentally exited out.
No worries. Welcome, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us on this beautiful, hot Monday. It is crazy hot. Today, we got Just Ask Danny in the house.
How's it going?
Danny, how are you doing? How was your weekend? How have you been?
I'm recovering from last night with Megan and Noah.
Dude, you got to talk about it. Let people know what you did.
Noah, Disneyland, and Megan, just messing around, and myself, we went to Katy Perry at the Honda Center, and then we got upgraded to the pit. So we were like because her stage is shaped like an infinity symbol. So it's
Yeah.
like two circles, and we were inside one of the circles. So it was crazy. I've never been that close at a concert before, and she was like right there in front of us. So
Can you talk about this picture real quick, Daddy? Because I don't know if I messaged you, but I was like, "Dad, you were out there."
yeah,
Dude,
that's where I was. That's where I was for D23 Expo with my $99 seats.
if they didn't have a screen, you wouldn't be able to see nothing, dude. You're too far.
Oh yeah, you're way too far.
Like for the D23 thing? My goodness.
Yeah, the concert was really fun. Like honestly, I feel like the hate for Katy Perry is like so forced. Like she has some of the most iconic pop songs that like any one of us ever remembers if you're a millennial. And I was shocked actually at how many young people were there.
Yeah.
That like really young people that like still like her music. I thought it was just gonna be like older crowd. But like I just felt like it was the hate for her is very forced. Like she sings really good live too, so I don't know. I thought like it was a really good show, honestly, and she seemed like she had a lot of fun performing. So especially like if you consider, I think like just a few days before this show, they like posted that like her and Orlando broke up again. So like there's probably a lot of emotions with that, but she still put on a good show. So.
Dude, you're so close, like you could legitimately like high-five her. Like, what's up, Katy Perry?
Noah did high five her.
What? Damn.
If you go forward, move forward. I put next one, right there. That was Noah interacting with her.
Wow. No way. Straight, dude, eye contact and everything. Damn. I never seen a Katy Perry show, so like your videos was the first time. She has so many outfits and like stunts and dance. Like it's a show, dude. Legitimate show.
Yeah.
That's cool. We got Fam Insanity. Meet and greet at Universal HHN. What are we talking about?
We got a meet and greet coming? Are we gonna do like a Terrifier meet and greet? Is that what's going on?
I don't know. Fam Insanity, could you elaborate? I don't know what that's about.
Dude, Arlene was saying Noah's always ready. It's so true, Mondo. He had like it was weird because we were in, like I said, it was like two circles like in an infinity, like teardrop shapes, and they're facing each other, and so everyone was like running from one side of the teardrop to the other based on like what side she was on. But Noah like waited off to the side because like every once in a while when she was going around the infinity, she would like walk past, and he's like I'm gonna wait I'm ready. I'm ready for when she comes." And then it happened. So he was always ready. So he's going again tomorrow. So
Damn, that's a lot of Katy Perry. What if you had to say what was her best song at that concert specifically?
um, not like the movies. Probably, I felt like it was really good.
Okay.
That was a good one. That was one of the like vote songs that like people voted for because she had a moment where like you can pick one of her like deep cut songs. She did two deep cut songs and then
Damn.
she let people like vote on them in
That's
the moment.
cool.
So
That is cool. Um, I wish all bands would do something like that. That's actually very like that's genius. What old song do you want to hear? Um, all right, we're gonna get straight into it, man. We're gonna get straight into it. Shout out to Scott Gustin for this amazing tweet. The Walt Animatronic. So July 17th is Disneyland's birthday. That is the official day where everybody can experience this if you go to Disneyland. There's going to be a virtual queue, and it'll be at 7 and 12. So for all the park hoppers, you only get one chance, and it's 12 o'clock. Um, how do you feel about the Walt animatronic, Danny? How do you feel?
um, I think the hard part is I was bringing up a good point. Like I was kind of comparing it to because see in my mind. I don't know if you could bring up a video, Mondo, right now, and I don't you I think might have it. I don't know, but if you I'd like if you could bring up a video of the
Which one?
Shaman of Songs. The Shaman of Songs from the Navi River journey.
Oh,
Uh, and so, like, in my mind, when we said, like, that's the most expensive animatronic and the most advanced animatronic that Disney's ever made, and they've said so, and I think it's like $20 million or something ridiculous. And they so I was comparing it to this because her motions are very fluid. They're very, her fingers move, like her face moves, everything. It just looks so realistic. It doesn't have any jerky movements. It's very, and it's huge. It's like massive.
oh, it's
So
this thing's gigantic. It's literally gigantic.
yeah, so I was like comparing it to this, but then I was talking to Nene about it, and Nene brought up a good point. He was like, you can't really compare it to the Shaman of Songs because she's an alien and they're not trying to like do realistic movements of humans. They're just it's like everything just needs to be smooth and it needs to be very flowy and she's like, doing a chant. So it's like very different. Whereas like with Walt Disney, they have to study videos of his mannerisms, like the way that he ticks, the way that he stands, the way that he talks with his hands, the way that he moves his neck around when he's talking, like literally every small detail has to be documented and they tried very hard to get all that. So like
Yeah.
the way that he looks when he and smiles when he talks, the way that he holds his hands, the way he puts his hand on his hip. The only thing that Nene was saying when I was talking to him was that like there's a moment which she kind of showed in that video where like he kind of looks to the left or to the right and his hands on his hip. That doesn't really look natural. That was the only thing that he said that was kind of weird, is that like that moment doesn't look like any human would do that because it's like the animatronic's not putting his hand on his hip, it's just like floating there.
Yeah.
And so he was just like, that's not a really normal thing. So, but I feel like in general, it's very advanced. I mean, the fact that they have skin that looks so real. I think the only thing that's throwing people off is the eyes. I feel like maybe they went a little too hard on the eyes because they were really trying to focus on making sure his eyes would glimmer.
Yeah.
That was like a big deal. And like maybe they didn't need to do that. And they just needed to make his eyes look very realistic, like as far as like the way that they looked in person, because his eyes were a little bit more like dark, I feel like, in most photos. And in this photo they were like really small and they're very like light brown. And
Mm.
so it almost makes you look like you're looking at a different person because of the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like when you see a lot of shots of the Walt Disney animatronic farther away, like Walt Disney World News Today had a really good video of it on their Twitter, It looks very good when you see it from far away because you're not seeing the details of like the eyes up close. I think that's what's kind of messing things up for me anyway. But otherwise, like hair looks very realistic. The skin is very, very realistic. Even the way that his hands are moving as he's talking and like pointing at stuff, it's not jerky. Like the Lincoln animatronic when he's moving, like it's very like, unnatural. And like this just the movements seem very natural with the exception of maybe that weird hand hip thing. But
Hmm. That's the step up. This is from Scott Gustin, where he kind of stands up and takes like a step in a sense.
yeah.
The Walt Animatronic. Man, I got so many things to say. I'm glad we're talking about it. Real quick, Frankie's Bride. Thank you for once again being a Fire member. I'm sorry to hear you got hacked. That is terrible. The scams that are going on in 2025 are just terrible. All of the stuff that's happening with the links and stuff. But Frankie's Bride, thank you as always. 36 plus months. Thank you, Frankie. I hope everything is okay in regards to like identity theft and all that BS that happens with scam. I hate scams. I hate with a passion. Um, okay, let's talk about things, Danny. Before we go any further, um, do you? So July 17th is the big day because it's Disneyland's
See,
birthday.
right, like that shot right there, Mondo, that looks very Walt Disney.
Oh
Like
yeah,
very.
I got a lot of things to say, Danny. We'll get there. We'll get there. Do you think dropping this today was a terrible move or a good move, or it doesn't matter? How do you feel? Because today's Monday. Today's nothing. It's just a regular Monday. Thursday, legitimately Disneyland's birthday. 70th celebration. Celebrate happy and whatever else. But Disney decided to drop this today. How do you feel, man?
They had. I feel like it's a good time window, right? Like yesterday was a pretty iconic day. Was Walt Disney and his wife Lillian Disney? It was their 100th wedding anniversary, or would have been their 100th wedding anniversary,
Yeah.
and they dedicated a new window for her on Main Street, just to the right of the Disney Showcase, and very prominent spot in town square as it should be, right? And just across the way of where the firehouse is, which is where their residence was. So I feel like it's a good time. Like they were kind of like in between. We don't really necessarily know what's going on, like per se, on the actual birthday. They may not do anything for all we know.
I know.
So
That's the Disney way. They do nothing. That's literally how they celebrate the birthdays.
yeah, so I don't know, but this looks really good. Like, um, I mean, from what I've seen of pictures online of like the exhibit beforehand, and like the stuff that they brought in on loan from the Walt Disney Family Museum and the office, just seeing the office there. I've been in Walt Disney's office, so it's like very cool to see a piece of that, like on stage there. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it, they should have waited to the 17th. And if they wanted to do a media blitz and whatever, it could be done at like 6 in the morning, before park open. And so they kind of create their own narratives of whatever they want to push media wise. But the way that everything has gone down today, I feel like it's a very negative tone, Danny. Uh, that's how I feel. That's just, because I had a chance. I kind of waited. I wanted to let it simmer a little bit before I asked, like, what everybody's thoughts were. Uh, and supposedly they were going for like a 1963 Walt. Have you heard that too? Like, specifically 1963 was the Walt they were going for. Uh,
Well, we see a lot of yeah, that's the older Walt. We see a lot of Walt Disney, like the fans know so much of Walt Disney from when Disneyland first opened, right?
yeah,
But that was quite a few years before he died. And so, he was also, he died of lung cancer. He was a extremely avid smoker, which smoking will also terribly age you and like your skin and everything, especially in the amount that he was smoking.
Hmm.
And so like he looks way worse towards the end of his life than he did when he was, opening Disneyland and doing his dedication speech and the way that most people remember him, you know what I mean? So this picture right here, like I see a lot of comments in this chat and also on videos talking about how he looks too fat. Well, he doesn't look very thin here. You know what I mean? Like he's a heavier guy. He's like he's got loose skin underneath his chin,
Yeah.
like just like the animatronic does. So, and and people are commenting like I don't think people can really even comment too a lot on his skin tone because all of the pictures of him are black and white, so you don't really know unless you saw him, in person or knew like there are color pictures of him, but they're just not as prominent as the gray and white ones. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's just my take on it. I think if they were going to do media stuff, do it at 6 in the morning on the day of the just so it's like a big celebration. Here's the reveal. This is what we've been working on for so long. Um, but getting back to Walt Animatronic himself, uh, I this is how I feel. This is how I feel. Um, when this got announced a long time ago, was it D23, Danny, or was it before that this got announced?
uh when did it get announced? I think it was at D23,
Was
right?
it D23? I feel like it was. Um, the first time I heard about a Walt animatronic, I was stunned because this is the boss. Literally the vision of anything we see at Disneyland. It's because of him. So the way I always interpreted this project, it was very ambitious from Imagineering, from the people that are going to budget this. It was honestly shocking. I don't know how else to say it. I was shocked. I was shocked they wanted to do something like this. Um, to see it all come together now, and it's not just a Walt animatronic. Uh, it goes from the exhibit, which is the opera house. It all starts there, and you will be seeing a lot of history from Disneyland itself. And it all kind of has some artifacts from Walt Disney, so we're gonna have that cool like museum experience, and it goes into animatronics, and we get to see all that stuff. And I think some of these are going to be actually working. I don't know if it's the birds from Tiki Room or but there's going to be a lot of photos. There's even going to be a video that will be played. Well, what is this video called? Oh, Memories of Walt, where a bunch of people talk about their stories with Walt and all that. And the big finale, the big finale is the Walt animatronic. And there's like a video that goes along with this at the very end of it all. And Bob Iger is like a narrative of it all. Um, when I look at it as a whole, I think this is a very wonderful project. I know there's a lot of hate going with Walt and the way he looks and whatever, but we're looking at everything from like a video, a photo, the in-person experience. I feel will be magical AF. I don't even know how else to say it other than that.
Right.
And I can't wait to experience it because we're gonna hear the music, the voice, and the visuals in the museum aspect of it all. Because like this is Disneyland to its core, Disneyland, and I'm a sucker for all this stuff. So to me, I think this is all incredible. It's incredible. That's how I feel.
Yeah, yeah, the movie that plays, the One Man's Dream that plays before you see the animatronic, that alone is enough by itself to make people emotional, very emotional. It did at Walt Disney World, and it will for sure in this show.
And I
So
remember
then
you
the
talked about that one a long time ago, Danny. I remember you brought that
yeah,
up, dude.
so I'm excited to experience One Man's Dream again because it's been years since I've done One Man's Dream, because they had shut it down, and I don't even know if it's back and running again. But it'll be nice to experience that show here, and then also just seeing the exhibit and all the things there on loan from the museum for who knows how long. This stuff is not gonna stay there forever. It'll probably rotate out. They'll have other things. They can't keep things on loan from the museum forever, so they have to give some of the things back to the
Yeah,
museum.
let's talk about that real quick. A lot of this actual Walt Disney artifacts, these are not going to be here long. That's what I've heard. Like, I doubt they even last 2 weeks, kind of thing, you know? So, a lot of this stuff, if you read, like, you're just so, I got to see it all, see it fast. Because I heard there's going to be some changes. This loan from the Walt Disney Museum, it's not a long thing at all. So, I don't know exactly pinpoint what's loaned from Walt Disney Museum. But once we get there, I would imagine we'll know. But this stuff won't be there long, so go quick. Go as fast as you can. If you could go this week, do it this week. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. But overall, yeah, I think the entirety of the experience is great. What I want to know, which we still don't know yet, or maybe we do, and I just didn't see it, was whether or not the experience beforehand is locked to the virtual queue, or is it open to everyone? That's what I want to know. Because I'd like to spend a lot of time in there and go back in multiple times, and I don't want to have a virtual queue to experience that. You know what I
No,
mean?
I heard you cannot. Once you leave, it's over. Goodbye. Good day. You lose.
So basically, you
You
can't even
can't walk in
enter the
there.
opera house.
You have to have a
Okay.
reservation, Danny. You have to. Um, how do you feel about this, Danny? At the very end, this picture right here. Keep moving forward. Has all the future projects.
That's cool. I mean, I would love for this space to be the new Blue Sky Cellar, right? Eventually,
That'd be cool.
I would love for the opera house to be, the place where people can go see new projects. They've done that in the past. Um, so I would love, like, stuff in there about Avatar, eventually beforehand, and then maybe Avengers Campus, Coco, stuff like that, so people can see it. Since they're not doing it in DCA, maybe do it there in the future. But um, I'm interested to see if, like, how much of our United States stuff comes back after the 70th anniversary and the Lincoln show comes back into rotation. I'm curious to see, like, do we get the model of the Capitol back, all the different statues like Sacagawea and everything that we had in there, because those are also very iconic to Disneyland's history. So I'm curious to see that after the 70th is over and the animatronic goes into rotation with Lincoln, if they bring back the United States presidential stuff as well.
Mm-hmm. Let me. I see some people. I think it was Noah. What about the voice, the AI voice? What do we think? Let me just play it and we'll talk about it. There's a lot of stuff to talk about with that.
Started by we keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting. We're interested in doing things that are fun, in bringing pleasure and especially laughter to people. But I only hope that we never lose sight of one thing, that was all started by a mouse. We keep moving forward.
um, I feel like this is a more representative view of what we're gonna see. And this is from Scott Gustin. You're seated. You're looking up at Walt. You know he's above you, and he's not zoomed in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like
To
this is
comment
the visual.
to
Uh,
comment on that to comment on that, Noah, it's from what we found out, it's like they didn't want to use AI, and they didn't have, like, they weren't just using like a clip of, or like a voice actor that sounded like him. So if you ever seen like those videos where they like take a bunch of words that people said in all their different speeches, and they kind of like clip them together to make a different speech. Like people do that to Trump a lot and a bunch of other political figures and stuff, or celebrities, where they like clip all their stuff together and then they put it together to make them say something that they never actually said, but it's like it's all words they've said but in different speeches and stuff.
It's just
Uh,
spliced together.
yeah, so they splice a bunch of words that he said in the past together, and then they've kind of like smoothed it out to make it sound like it's actually a speech in that moment. So this is all his voice, and it's all words that he said at some point, but they're not from the same speech, and they're all spliced together. So that's maybe why it sounds to some people a little AI, but it isn't AI because I don't think they'd be allowed to do that.
No, I heard
So
no AI. There's just no AI in this. Supposedly, that's what I've heard. Um, are you okay with the voice? How do you feel? How do you feel?
It's okay. It doesn't to me. In parts of it doesn't really sound like him, but the jest is there, right? Like, you know, uh, I think people, do we really know that that's what Abraham Lincoln sounds like either? You
Yeah.
know, so like, it's just I think people give it, people are very critical, and I knew this was gonna happen. If you could pull up the
Yeah,
video, Mondo,
Danny,
of the
they could have put the best looking Walt, the best audio quality Walt voice. People are still gonna hate on it. Like I feel this project was just destined to be hated on. That's how I feel. Like it was just
yeah.
gonna be a divisive thing. It's gonna be
Can
divisive.
you pull up the video, Mondo, of the uh Walt Disney, what is it?
The speech.
The no, the one from the Disney 100, the what I was saying they should have done.
Oh, hologram.
The hologram, yeah. Walt Disney hologram. When we first found out about them adding Walt Disney to this show, I thought they were going to use the hologram. And I still think that hologram was a better choice, maybe. But we'll show you, and what do you guys think? So this was at the Walt Disney hologram that was traveling with the Walt Disney or Disney 100 exhibition that went across the U.S. when it was Disney 100. Um, but I like the hologram. I thought it was a really good choice, and it would have been great in the theater too. It's kind of like seeing him standing there. The animatronics like that as well too.
Ah, I
But
got it. I was like, what the? I couldn't find it. There it is. There it is. This is from Disney Tourist Blog. Uh, Damn, this is a crazy ass hologram. I haven't seen this
yeah,
in a while. Dude, I forgot. Let me play it real quick. Was this? Hold on.
Comes alive in a brand new way.
There's a lot of satisfaction in developing ideas into realities. When we consider a new project, we really study it. Not just the surface idea, but everything about it.
So, dude, now that I kind of see that, and we go back to the Walt Animatronic. Uh, I was trying to say this to a buddy of mine earlier. I think the movements are too slow. That's the issue. I think if they were a little quicker in the way that things are progressing in the show, I think it would just be more like, oh, it's Walt. It's they're going for this realistic. I have it right here. Drew posted it earlier. I don't know if this was like the media was trying to say something like this because I feel like I got the same notion from a lot of the bloggers that were talking about it. Achieves a twinkle in the eye. The first lean to stand motion of an electric figure. Realistic skin through new methods and Walt mannerisms and movement. That was like one of the things that were that was their goal to achieve with this animatronic. But now that I see like this hologram thing, like I feel the movements are kind of like, okay, it's Walt. I get it.
This morning, the magic of Disney comes alive in a brand new way.
There's a lot of satisfaction.
Like just the movements, you see, like those movement that I don't know about this hologram and what, you know what I mean? Like, are they trying to base it off something that he did? But those movements are really Walt. Like I feel Walt out of seeing him as a hologram is still weird, but the movements really sell it for me. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. How do you feel about that? The hologram animatronic?
Well, yeah, the hologram is a real person, so it was an actor, and then they like superimposed the face over it, so it's like a person
Oh,
that's, so it's like a person that's acting and like doing his mannerisms and stuff. So a person can certainly do it like way
it
better.
it reminds me of Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian. How they did that.
Yeah, the same way, yeah. And then it was projected in a
Uh,
way that it was projected in a way that made it seem like he was there in the moment. So
mm. Yeah, dude, I'm still shocked that they were like animatronic. We're going full blown Walt Disney animatronic. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Um, to me, when I hear the voice, I'm fine with it. I really thought, Danny, they were gonna go with something Walt said, like legitimately, some kind of speech
yeah, I thought they were
or
gonna just do like a like Disneyland speech or something like that. The
yeah.
to all come to this happy place or something. I didn't necessarily know. I think they did like something new so that it could be like, you know, something people have never heard him say before. So it's like, um, you know, it's interesting for people because it's like they're talking to someone that's alive again, kind of thing. So that's maybe the vibe they were going for, rather
Mm,
than like just a diorama playing back the same thing.
yeah.
Um, but I think honestly there would have been something special in that too, and like people being able to see Walt Disney give the opening day speech,
People
especially
would
on
be
like the birthday.
crying every day. People would be
Yeah.
crying. Too old to come to this happen, and it's freaking Walt himself right in front of you. Like, what the hell? That would have been crazy. Um, Overall thoughts, Danny, on the whole experience as a whole, like not just Walt Disney animatronic, but everything.
The experience as a whole is incredible. Like the museum, the with the Garner animatronics, the stuff on loan from the family, the the history in and out of it, the movie that's gonna play beforehand, everyone's gonna love. um, you know, before the actual animatronic comes. So all in all, I think they did a really good job of like kind of representing and celebrating his life with through all that stuff, which is great. I think the people that love the history, and love that Disney still wants to do this stuff, they'll love that, right? You know, a lot of people are, you know, upset that the Magic Kingdom's like losing some of its history for new projects, and they kind of appreciate stuff like this, and you know, they can be upset about that, right? And they can also like this kind of stuff. So I feel like this is, you know, something that's like you said, very Disneyland. Like Disneyland will, you know, the dedication to the window of Lily and Disney, and the this whole experience and this whole museum setup that they have is very unique to Disneyland, right? They won't,
Like
they don't
this
really
can't be
have a lot of
plopped
this
at
stuff.
Walt Disney World. It'll never happen. It'll never
Yeah,
happen.
they don't truly like, you know, this opera house is literally situated on the opposite side of the street of where Walt Disney used to live. So, like, that
Dirt.
was like where it's like very different to be at Disneyland than it is to be at Disney World. And so I think they'll never let go of that stuff because of that, right? So I think that's cool. But all the stuff that the changes they've made, like the exhibit, the sign, all of the stuff, the fact that they didn't just erase great moments of Mr. Lincoln and that it still will exist, you know, after the
One
70th
of
is
the
over.
coolest moves ever.
Yeah.
Talk about that real quick because I don't feel like everybody understands that.
Yeah, and we the fact that too we don't even know how that show changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
that
the
might have got an
show
upgrade. Why wouldn't they?
yeah, the show that show's stage was really big, huge even. So like, and it had to go a lot smaller because it's on a rotating stage now that rotates with Lincoln and Walt Disney. So um so you'll get to see both, you know, not during one showing, but each showing will alternate. So essentially that's how it's going to work. But for right now, it's only featuring Walt Disney and Magical Life. It'll be like that until the end of the 70th, and then at some point towards the end of the 70th, they will begin the rotation, and you know, Walt Disney show ends, then the theater rotates, as the people have exited, and then the new show that's waiting in the lobby will be waiting for Lincoln, and then if you want to wait for Disney, you're gonna have to wait another show for it to
Yeah,
rotate back. So it'll kind of just alternate between the two throughout the day.
man. Dude, I'm so excited for this Thursday. It's gonna be magical, man. For me, I've kind of stayed spoiler free in a sense. I haven't watched the whole show. I don't truly want to judge this show on all the stuff we're seeing. I want to feel it. I want to see it in person. I want to experience the music, the audio, the animatronic movements, and how they feel in person. I'll have more opinions on Thursday. But at this time, I think it's going to be very magical. Very magical. Have you heard any like of the media crying or anything like that? Because before all this got debuted and unspoiled, I guess, I was like, I feel like people are going to cry out of this thing. Did you hear anybody crying, Danny, from the media?
No, I just really saw like I didn't really see like anyone's reactions to it. I just saw people posting like the first look kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I haven't really watched anyone's reactions to the whole show yet, just to kind of try to stay, on top of it all, and kind of stay away from the spoilers, like you said, of the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
But Theme Park IQ's in the chat said that Lincoln will likely come back sooner. So that's potential too. Yeah. So
Probably
they
by
just
Christmas.
initially in like the press release or whatever, they said during the 70th it would just be one. But it would make sense that they bring it back sooner, especially like if they've kind of gotten past the point where they don't need like virtual queue anymore, and people
Which
can kind of
hopefully
just
won't be
freely
long,
go.
right?
Yeah, I feel like then they could be a little bit more comfortable with like bringing that back and doing the rotation and everything.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I have to bring this up because, sheesh, watching your live, watching your live with my wife in the delivery room, bringing a new member of the Five Fires community into this world. Much love, dude. Congratulations! Wow! Wow! Dude, sheesh, congratulations, man. I pray everything goes well, healthy baby, and get some sleep, bruh. Because you ain't. I'm trying my hardest to not cuss right now. You ain't sleeping nothing for a while, brother. Having a newborn, it is rough. You know what's my best advice that I could give you? Go above and beyond for your girlfriend or your wife. And help her get rest. Help her get showers. Help her just take a break, because she went through all that struggle to have the baby, and then to be like, okay, now you got to take care of the baby. It's just hard. It's hard on the mamas. So go above and beyond, sheesh, and make her feel loved. Darstar, I would love to see all the young people appreciate the cues on the rides. They're on their phones walking past things that tell a story. So maybe this will get them to appreciate what Walt did for us. What has the best queue at Disneyland, Danny? Off the top of your head.
Best queue at Disneyland? I'd say probably like it's probably a tie between like Indiana Jones
He's
or
really good. It's so
yeah,
good.
or like Roger Rabbit Cartoon Spin.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
some incredible queues at Disneyland.
Yeah, Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin is really good.
Mickey and Minnie's.
Some people might say, yeah, Mickey and Minnie is really good. Some people might say Rise of the Resistance, but in all honesty, that attraction's queue is really boring. Like,
Which
I
one?
don't think there's really Rise of the Resistance. Like, other than like, I will say, if you're counting the queue as the part when you're on the Star Destroyer Beyond, like that is way cool, right? But like, I almost count that as like part of the ride experience because you've already done the like shuttle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when I think of the queue for Rise, I think of like the dirt cave part when you're on Batu.
Which is nothing to it.
Yeah, that's just kind of boring. But yeah, I feel like Roger Rabbit Cartoon Spin, like there's so much storytelling happening in that queue. It was so great. Indiana Jones, of course, so much storytelling happening in there. And then what was the one that you said? Oh yeah, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway
Everybody in the
Railway.
chat, what is your favorite Disneyland queue? I would love to hear from that. You know what's kind of I don't want to say it's like the best queue, but it's an underrated queue. Buzz Lightyear. Like, we got an animatronic in the queue. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty crazy. I guess you could even say that a little bit for Smuggler's Run. You know, we got an animatronic in there. Is there a queue that you just don't like being in? Is there a queue at Disneyland where you're just like, oh, I gotta wait in this line? Is there one for you, Danny?
Probably.
For me, it's Peter Pan, straight up. I hate being. I'm a big guy, and you're just like, it's hot as hell and zigzagging. It's just, I hate it.
I was gonna say either
Peter
for me
Pan.
it was gonna be either Alice in Wonderland because it's like so tight, or the Autopia because it's like there's especially with like Lightning Lane, like I feel like you never move. You're just sitting there forever.
Didn't we do that recently? That happened to us.
Yes.
The Lightning Lanes just rock us. Oh man. Star Tour, Star Tour got animatronics and the vehicle in there. Cars sucks. I don't mind cars for me. The Fantasyland queues suck. For whatever reason, I feel like I don't mind Peter Pan. I don't mind Snow White. It's just, or not Peter Pan. Pinocchio. Mr. Toads gets a little weird once you go in the inside portion. Matterhorn sucks. I don't mind Matterhorn. I always do single riders, so I don't know. The final thoughts on the animatronic, the Walt Animatronic, Danny. Final thoughts, because we'll see it on Thursday, so we'll really go deeper on it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hard one, right? Like I don't feel like there's any version of the animatronic where people would be happy, right? And I knew this was going to happen. We talked about this so long ago. So I felt like maybe a hologram would have been better as an option, but they really wanted to go with the animatronic. And Drew was right with what he said, right? There's a lot of technical achievements here. This animatronic takes a step forward, and it's not taking fake steps forward on a track like the Frankenstein monster in Monsters Unchained. This is actually like he's actually shifting his body weight and taking a step. So it's like
crazy, dude.
So it's a little bit of a technological feat. I feel like when you actually just watch the hand motions, they're very realistic and very human-like. So I think that is very cool. And then the skin, like when you see the up close it looks like human skin.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I want to see it in person. I want to feel that with my eyes.
So that I would say I'm withholding judgment until I see it in person, but I'll probably be farther away from it in person, so I think it'll look really good from a distance.
Yeah. My final verdict, I'm so excited. I can't wait to experience everything. I feel like we're going to be in there, Danny, like 2 hours, dude, because there's just so much to see and appreciate and soak up. From what I heard, the way that it's going to work is once you walk in an opera house, it's your leisure. You go at your speed. So if you want to just look at stuff, you're good. You're not going to be rushed. But once you do the Walt Animatronic show and you step out, you're done. Goodbye. You will be asked to essentially leave at that point. And you won't be able to re-enter. It's just a one-time thing. So that's one thing that like I hate about virtual queues is the one-time thing where you can only do it once. Because this is something you would for sure want to do twice, maybe even 3 times for all you know. Especially on Thursday, like anytime we have something new, I want to do it more than once. But I'm excited, so thankful for Disneyland and all the Imagineers and everybody that put their passion and hard work into this. I can't wait to finally see it. It's been a long wait, but we're almost there. All right, we're going to go into something that I feel like we've all been waiting for, and it finally came. Here it is.
The horror you love to watch at Universal Halloween Horror Nights. Featuring Terrifier and more.
You know what I laugh, Daddy? Like, there's not many YouTube channels that are going from a Walt Animatronic to straight up Terrifier. But that's what we do, baby.
In the trailer, Mondo, there's like a bunch of cuts to different weapons that he's using. Do you think those are clues to the kills we'll see inside the maze?
Easily.
Because I saw the blowtorch. Is that from the rat scene?
Oh my gosh! I would say that's only from the rat scene. Because this will be Terrifier 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna get a little bit of everything from all of them. Danny, have you seen Terrifier yourself?
I've seen 1 and not 2 or 3, and I probably won't watch them.
That's what I want to mention. Terrifier is one of those things. As popular as he is, not a lot of people have seen Terrifier. It's not like it had this big theatrical run, and it's freaking non-rated horror. It's not even rated R. It's beyond that. It's just wild. It is wild that we are getting a house to this type of horror. I never thought something like this could come to Horror Nights, but it makes total sense. It makes total sense. I want to read a couple things here before we start conversating. Welcome to Funhouse. Twisted world of Art the Clown comes to life in this all-new Terrifier haunted house inspired by the film. Spewing from the content creator Damon Leone, introduced, won't even go to that. The Terrifier film franchise has evolved to become 3 chilling and goring movies with oh my gosh, what am I reading? Hold on. Oh, it's the last freaking paragraph. During Halloween Horror Nights, guests will experience an unfathomable level of gore as they try to... Like, this is literally the press release. This is not like I made this up. This is the press release. Guests will experience an unfathomable level of gore as they try to escape, becoming Art the Clown's next victim. Terrifier is a grisly, haunted house oozing with a new sense of terror that takes guests into Art the Clown gruesome funhouse, which is first appeared in Terrifier 2. Guests will be overwhelmed by the sights, sounds, smells, and dread of Art's grotesque kills, gleefully displayed for all to see. As fans make their way through the claustrophobic corridors, they will encounter familiar faces, including Vicky and the little Pell Girl, and witness iconic kills from the franchise. Chaos reigns at the Clown Cafe. Terror fester in a revolting bathroom, and holiday cheer turns deadly in a Christmas nightmare. Guests must escape Art's twisted world or become his next gruesome display. Jeez Louise. This is insane. It's insane. I don't even know what else to say. Danny,
is there a scene, Mondo, from 2 or 3 that involves a bathroom?
The bathroom is 3.
Is there caquitas involved with that?
I'll just say what it is. I'll say what it is. The spoilers. If you've never seen Terrifier 3, there's a scene where a girl and a boyfriend and a girlfriend are making out in the bathroom, and things are getting hot and heavy. Art the Clown walks in with a chainsaw, and just goes all Texas chainsaw on them, like fully. And gosh, I don't even want to go into detail. Things get really cut in half. I think that's the best way to say it. uh, the thing about Terrifier, everything is like level 10 out of 10 in regards to gore, gruesome, over the top. But one of the most beautiful things about Terrifier is how much like actual physical things they are. They didn't go full CGI with almost probably nothing really. They're all about physical, and it's just so crazy the art that they've created with this movie because it all looks so real. It's ridiculous. Okay,
It
Danny.
makes me the thing that makes me nervous is um the smells. Whenever we have a maze with smells, it always is my least favorite maze. I hated the Leatherface one with the smells.
Yeah,
It
the
just like
Exorcist
the,
Believer was just terrible. It was so
yeah,
bad.
people threw up from that
Dude,
smell.
we had to stop in line because somebody threw up. I remember that. They stopped the whole
Yeah.
line for who knows how long. Somebody was barfing.
Yeah.
Insidious was really bad last year. Talk about bad. Insidious.
Yeah, so like I'm not like too excited to hear that they're like doing smells on this one, so I'm like, ugh. So this is gonna be one I'm kind of like dreading to go in, but I'll go in
And
and
I think
obviously
that's the
enjoy.
point. That's the point of horror nights. You know what I mean? It's horror. That's the point. Like we want you to feel uncomfortable and you're not sure that you want to walk in this house. And uh, how do you
That's why I
feel
was saying like
about?
I didn't know what the smells were, so that's why I was like in the bathroom scene. Is there like poop involved, and are they gonna make like a
No,
poop
I'm
scene or
gonna say
something?
there's not. I don't think there is. I don't think there is.
So it's probably gonna be like what was the other one too?
Like the only thing I could think of is like just rotted flesh, like because that
Well, I
kind
was
of
gonna say
plays
they
into
had
things.
the. I was gonna say they had the one. What was the maze? It was Holidays in Hell, where you go into like the Thanksgiving room and they're like cooking people in that one, and like you can smell like what's supposed to be like cooking human flesh. You know what I mean?
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember Holidays in Hell. The leprechaun scene just smelled horribly. I couldn't even pinpoint what kind of smell it was. It was just nasty. Uh, Danny, so you're not like the most familiar with Terrifier, and you're the perfect person to ask these things. Like, how do you feel about Horror Nights themselves saying like an unfathomable amount of gore and whatever? How does that make you feel? Like, are you like just bring it, baby? I want to see this, or are you kind of more of like I don't know if I'm ready for this, and I might not like it, you know? Because this right here, I feel like is they're taking a risk. This is a risk right here. Um, they're playing it very different with this house. That's how I feel, Danny. And John Murdy himself has confirmed they are not holding back, and that's great because Terrifier never holds back. That's the whole point of why it got so much fame because it never did. But how do you feel, Danny? I want to hear from you, man.
Um, I'm yeah, like I think it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it. I feel like we've had some pretty heavy gore mazes before at HHN. Like they don't really hold back. Like even when you think about like the weekend and like some of the other mazes we've had, like the weekend's maze was pretty freaking gory. Like there
Yeah.
was like and even like the Monstros 2, like that one was pretty gory too. So like there's certainly they're
Yeah,
not a
Monstros 2
stranger.
had a spinal being snapped out of somebody. Like,
Yeah,
what more do you
exactly.
want than that? Like, that's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah,
We
so
had La
there's like
Llorona also eating kids. Like,
yeah, so I have a feeling like they're gonna have a part where like Art's killing someone and like they're gonna spray water at you so that you think it's like blood squirting on you and
yeah.
it's just they'll do a job they'll do their best to make it as as believable as possible, right? But I think it'll be definitely one that people are afraid afraid of doing for sure. So I think that's like you said, that's the point of HHN is that like people are going to be regretting this one. They're like, ugh, I don't really want to do this one, but we have to do it.
Yeah, I feel there's a lot of people that are going to be like that. It's a very different tone shift too, Danny, because we went from like Ghostbusters and whatever else to all of a sudden Terrifier, like just full 10 out of 10, everything, gore, scary, all of it, and it's clowns. There's a lot of people that they're just terrified of clowns in general, and that's the whole point of this thing. It's a clown doing it all. We got Big Papa with a super chat. Terrifier House, welcome to the Splash Zone, baby. Bathroom scene is scare face, and psycho scenes had a baby times 1,000. Can't wait. Thank you for the super chat, Big Papa. You know how I feel, Danny, when I read this press release and kind of the vibes that we've got. I feel this house is going to be a lot of scenes being played out. So a lot of the iconic kills being played out right in front of you. And maybe when Art does his kill, he'll turn around to then scare you. I think there's going to be a lot of that. Instead of like Art just kind of popping out of like a boo hole or whatever, like a scare hole. I think it's going to be like that. That's the vibe I'm getting. And I'm cool with that. I like it when scenes play out, and because because then at that point it's like I'm watching the movie in real life. Like that's how I think it's gonna feel.
Yeah, that I will say that did not was it Insidious? I don't know if it was Insidious. It might have been Insidious, but
Because
that didn't play out very well all the time. With I can't remember if it was Insidious, or if it was the um
I'll give you an
the
example, Danny.
no, it was Universal Monsters last year.
Where they're
And
doing scene. You weren't a fan of
yeah,
it.
I was not a fan of it. It was amazing when it worked, but a lot of times people would be in between the scene and they were walking through empty rooms with nothing.
Nothing.
And
Yeah,
it's because
that happened a
they're
lot.
not controlled. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not controlled. So I think I hope it's not playing out the way that you said. I hope it's more of like
Well,
he comes out.
one that did do it right, Danny, was The Last of Us. There was a lot of scenes played out, and they did it good. They did it good.
Okay.
But you are right. The Universal Monsters, it was a real struggle last year for that one. Yeah, there's some times where I'm like, I didn't even see an actor for like 3 rooms. That's how it played out. Real quick, we got theme park and things with Johnny Super Chat. I hope they don't hold back. I may not get scared anymore, but I love theme entertainment of HHN. They're not holding back. John Murdy has confirmed they are not holding back, and I believe him. I believe him to the max. I truly believe him. But yeah, Terrifier's coming to Horror Nights. I can't wait. How the heck that's going to play out. I hope we get details for Terrifier at Midsummer Scream, because it's going to be a big deal. Danny, is there anything you want to talk about?
No, I will say in the chat though, I agree with someone who said I don't like the trailers this year for HHN. I agree, I don't like them either. I don't think they really tell us anything. I think we've had better trailers in the past. I don't like this new theme at all. It's like they're trying to align everything to be like Horrors Unleashed in Vegas. They're trying to make it look like that, so that like HHN's all unified, so that people think it's like all one thing. So I don't really like the vibe of it. It doesn't look very good. Like they're all the weird thing with like the TV and like in someone's bedroom. Like it works for like Stranger Things, but
Yeah.
like to do it, they didn't change basically anything for all the different houses except for just this whatever's in the bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to talk about this. We're going to stay at Universal because I think it's exciting, and I can't believe it's real. I truly can't believe it's real. We got, and I don't want to call it an announcement, but they put it they put this sign up, Mr. Barbecue. Mr. Barbecue is going to be coming to Universal City Walk Hollywood, and it's going to be replacing Johnny Rockets. Uh, this announcement came out of nowhere. This wasn't even being rumored, it just happened. But Korean barbecue coming to Universal City Walk. Danny, what do you think, man? Are you a fan? Is this exciting for you? You would do it? How do you feel like?
We have Fredo in the chat, Mondo, that says there is a poop scene in Terrifier. You don't remember it?
Maybe I don't want to remember it, Frito. I I don't even want to ask what movie. I don't remember it. Maybe it's Terrifier.
Because that's what I feel like. I feel like they're going to have the poop scene, and then they're going to make the smell be poop. And it's going to be like shit smell in the maze. That's what I feel.
I'm trying
That's
to talk.
what I
I'm
feel.
trying to talk about Mr. Barbecue.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm nervous about that. I don't want to be walking through a maze with poop smell, dude. That's what I'm worried about.
I don't recall it. Terrifier is kind of one of those movies where you're just like, wow, what the hell did I just watch for 2 hours? And I'm not saying you forget it, but it's like, that's not really a memory, a movie you want just kind of living in your brain.
Fredo says, Mondo, I can't forget it.
Oh, man. Well, yeah. All right, Danny. Let's talk about Mr. Barbecue.
Okay, Mr. Barbecue is the best choice. Mr. Barbecue is probably one of the best Korean barbecue spots, I feel. I've been to a lot of them because I love Korean barbecue, especially all you can eat Korean barbecue. Mr. Barbecue is in Fullerton. They might have other locations, but I know of the one and go to the one in Fullerton. It's pretty close to Cal State Fullerton. It's always jam packed. You will always have a 2-hour wait at Mr. Barbecue, no matter what. If you're going during any sort of popular dinner service, it's very loud in Mr. Barbecue. It's not a location where you go to have deep conversations. It's like going to Yard House, right? Like you're going in there, you may have a little bit of conversation, but they are blasting music in Mr. Barbecue like it's a nightclub, okay? And especially if it's someone's birthday, then they like crank the volume up to like max and they're just like blasting the techno song for all the employees to come out and do the birthday thing.
Wow.
So it's very loud in Mr. Barbecue. The meats and everything are really, really good. They have tons of options on sides. This is very much the CityWalk vibe. Like it's not like super authentic Korean barbecue with like the most authentic things, but it's very like youth vibe. Like there's like graffiti all over the walls inside, very, very loud music. Like all the employees like make it like a party atmosphere. They have their name tags are like little digital like digital marquees that like their name goes across.
What?
Yeah, that's just like crazy in there. It's like a party when you're in there. So it's like a very loud, fun place, and I think that makes it like very sought after and people want to go there. And it's all you can eat, at least in the one in Fullerton. I don't know if City Walk will have different experience because it's more expensive for them probably to rent there. But I like the direction that Universal's going. They're really bringing a lot of great restaurants and options to City Walk. I think as they're starting to think like a resort, right? And the thing with Universal right now, as it stands, there's not a lot of places to eat around Universal Studios. You have to drive a little bit of ways, and if someone's coming to stay at Universal Studios Hollywood in their new hotel, potentially if they build it, they need to have places to go, places to eat, and sit down and have a good experience.
Especially as a group.
Universal City
This
Walk.
great group setting here.
Exactly. And this is also really great for the locals too. Like, there's a lot of Korean barbecue, I'm sure, in LA. But this would, if this is the first LA location of Mr. Barbecue, I don't know. They'll love it. So I think it's awesome.
I heard
It
the price
isn't.
ranges are like 35 to 45. Like you're so in the all you
Yeah, it's like 35, 45, all you can eat, so not bad at all. Not bad at all. And that includes like your dessert and all that kind of stuff
veg whatever.
during the thing. The problem the problem is I don't know if they'll have the same prices at CityWalk though. Like it
Yeah,
may
I'm guessing 50. You could just
yeah,
lock
I'm guessing like
50
49
bucks.
a person probably.
Yeah, 50 at City Walk. Just boom. Let's just hope and pray it's a all you can eat. Because if it's a la carte, it's gonna be like a one and done for me, Danny. I can't be because you're gonna
Yeah,
drop.
if it's not all you can eat, that's a one and done for me too. Like, or I may not even do it in all honesty
Yeah,
because I know I can go to a Mr. Barbecue that is all you can eat,
yeah,
closer to where I live.
man, it's crazy, dude. Raising Cane's, Halal Guys, Mr. Barbecue, NBA Experience. It's just so much change happening at City Walk. It's crazy. It is
Mhm.
crazy. Um, let me
And
see.
it's in prime real estate too, where Johnny Rockets was,
Yeah, right in the middle.
and it's positioned to be really prime real estate if they do build a hotel where they're supposed to build a hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even better for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, we gotta go to oh man, where can I do this? Hold on, Danny. We're gonna switch theme parks. Switching theme parks. Man, they never. It's like never easy, dude. Hold on, Danny. Where do I go? Gosh, it's just never easy, dude. I try to look up Not Scary Farm info, Danny. It's never easy, dude. Never. All right. We're going to be going to Not Scary Farm. Not Scary Farm. We got some great news that came out of them. But where do I go? Like, so I go to tickets, maybe?
What's the news that you got?
Nightmares Revealed, but how do I get there?
I don't think it's there.
What the heck? Oh my gosh. I'm just going to go to my Instagram. Not Scary Farm website. I can never find info, dude. So, Not Scary Farm has announced tickets will go on sale for not just Not Scary Farm, but also Nightmares Revealed. Nightmares Revealed will be kicking off officially August 19th. So get your calendars ready. All these dates to remember. August 19th. That is right after Midsummer Scream from 7 to 10 p.m. A 3-hour event. It will cost $35. Prices went up for this event. So it is now $35. There's going to be a presentation for all the new things coming. There will also be like Ghost Town will be Ghost Town streets essentially, and most likely we'll get more details. We'll really know what to expect. They usually let us do like a walkthrough lights on of a maze, which I love when we do that stuff because you're like I never even seen that and I've been in here like 20 times because it's just too
Yeah.
dark. The Scary Farm mazes are too dark sometimes.
I feel like 35 is a little high for an event like this, especially since the event's only from 7 to 10. It's only 3 hours.
Yeah.
I still feel like, 20 bucks, 25 bucks was like the sweet spot because they're not really doing more. And half the time, the problem with this event specifically is the last few times they've started late. The announcements go on way too long. And if you only care about the announcements, then you're wasting all of your time at the announcement and like then the rest of your night's gone for the most part. So I just can't rely on them to be like doing this all on time and when they're supposed to. So I don't know. I feel like 35 is a lot, but we'll see. Maybe they're planning to step up their game this time around. But there are rumors too, Mondo, of like there being, multiple announcements at this event, like, a longer one even. So like then you really are spending all your time at the announcements, and what is the price raise for, right? It's access to the rides and stuff that are available, but like are you gonna have time to do it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I'm excited. I don't know what kind of direction they're gonna go with. The big speculation for the longest has been that it's like a Joker inspired asylum, Arkham Asylum. But other people last week were arguing with me. They're like, no, this is like animals gone mad, like evil animal maze. And I was like, what the hell, animal maze? Whatever the hell it is, we're not that far away from it coming. I forgot who was telling me and arguing with me about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris West brings up a good point. The reason why I say that, Mondo, is because just for a little bit more money, like literally like 20 some bucks, you can get a night ticket to Knott's Scary Farm on regular night. And you're not just getting only Ghost Town streets and then uh an announcement event that will probably fire off late. You know what I mean? So,
Back in my day, it was only a pass holder thing,
and it was free. It didn't cost any money.
and it was free and in the theater. I miss those days. Those were really really nice days back in the day with First Scary Farm. But yeah, I just want to throw that out there. I know there's a lot of Scary Farm fans. A tip of advice: if you are like really considering going to Nightmares Revealed, buy your ticket right away because that event sells out pretty damn fast. Even though
Like
the price,
immediately, immediately.
literally, even though the price went up, it ain't gonna stop nobody. The Scary Farm fans, they're here to play. They want to smell the fog. They want to just be in that element of Scary Farm way before the event even starts. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Anything else on your end, Danny? I feel like I've got through all the stuff because I just opened up.
No,
to
no. I
Q&A.
mean, I want to say, like, I want to clarify. I do really enjoy this event. I think it's a lot of fun. I just feel like when we start getting closer to the actual price of a Scary Farm night, it gets a little pricey for a 3 hour event. But that's all I was trying to say. But this is a really fun event for those that haven't gone. Um, you get to see every maze that's announced that's new. You also get to see people talk about from the creative team talk about how they started to design some of these things. Last year they had this really cool addition, which I loved to the event. They had I think it's like the town hall building in Ghost Town. They had it set up as a costume exhibit.
Love,
So
love.
at the time we had widows and Eight Fingers 9, and we had heard about it on the announcement event, and then they told us to go over to this costume hall, and they had the costume designers there with costumes on mannequins from the maze, and they were talking about like why they chose different things, how they let the cast members who are in the maze like customize them, and what ways they can customize them because they do give the freedom to the actors to be able to do that. And then they talk about like fabric choices for like breathability, and it was really, really interesting. Like a really cool behind the scenes look. Like Mondo said, they really took a turn last year to bring that behind the scenes experience with the lights on walkthrough, the
They even did
the
like a little panel in the Birdcage Theater with the creators of the mazes. It was cool. It was really cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's certainly a lot of value there. But I just hate to see when things get like when they keep going up and up and up and up in price.
Oh, are we
So.
talking about Oogie Boogie Bash?
Yeah, yeah. That's
100.
why I haven't been. That's why I haven't been for 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, lot of rumors are swirling for the Oogie Boogie Bash character. I'll tell you that much. I won't talk about it now, but it's getting juicy. I've heard some things. Um, let's go to some of the Q&As. I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. Um, will
We got
you
a super
go?
chat from DA.
Oh damn! Hold on. Will you go live for Not Scary Farm announcement? Yes, I will be live streaming. I think I'm only gonna live stream the announcements. Everything else, I'm gonna vlog it. I want to be in the moment. Because I remember my last time I did Nightmares Revealed, I was live the whole time. I rather just only the announcement, and then everything else is just being a vlog. So the announcement part, yes. Uh, Let me see. We got a super chat. DA dropping 20. Wow. Let's go. Hi, Mondo. Danny, any tips on how to get a spot on virtual queue? There will be like a schedule of events? Wondering what time would be the actual celebration. Thank you for all you do. I think the main thing DA is looking for tips on the virtual queue, and then what am I looking forward to on the 17th, Danny? Disneyland's birthday. I think those are the main things.
Man, I would say if you're going that day, in all honesty, you want to be outside of Disneyland around the time of the virtual queue. I mean, you don't have to be there. You could be at home. You could be wherever. All you're doing is essentially the biggest tip is just make sure it's only one person that's trying to do it. The one person has everyone's tickets scanned on their phone. And then as soon as the clock on your phone strikes 7 a.m., you're going to be there refreshing, trying to hit that join button. And then make sure that everyone's tickets that day have reservations to start at Disneyland, and make sure that anyone's pass who's on your app who is not participating that day is not on your app. Or if you want to keep that person's stuff on your app, then you're not the app that's doing the virtual queue. You're doing it with someone else's phone. So a different account, because you only want anything that will prevent you from just hitting the button and then hitting join queue. You're not going to get it.
You lost.
Guaranteed you won't.
You lost.
You're done. You're not going to get it, guaranteed. You have to have
We
the
went through that
smoothest-
stupidity before.
Yeah, you have to have the smoothest possible way, and that's one person doing it with only the tickets that are attached to it that are going into the park that day.
Have the world
That's
clock.
all you're gonna do.
The world clock. Have the world clock open. So you see the seconds, the actual seconds. 7:59:58. 7:50, you know what I mean? Right at like 7, or it's at 7. So 6:59:59, you hit refresh, and then you just smash with all your power continuously at the bottom of the screen, because that's what it'll say: join virtual queue, confirm guest. What you don't read nothing. Just that's my best tip. If she's trying to see the cavalcade, Danny, where's the best spot you recommend? Where's the prime real estate?
I really liked watching it the first showing of the cavalcade comes from It's a Small World and then goes towards Main Street, and the second viewing of it goes from Main Street until Small World. I really liked where we watched it on the second showing, which was in the hub, facing down Main Street, and then looking down. So then when the cavalcade's coming at you, you can see it approaching for a really long time. And then when it gets to you, they're like, the floats are coming at you, and then they have to turn. So that's a really cool perspective. You can also get that perspective too if you're watching it from where the big Disneyland 70th celebration logo is, where everyone's taking their photo, but that's hard because everyone's taking their photo there during the day.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of a weird place to be. But I really liked watching it from the hub facing Main Street when it's coming from Main Street. I thought that was a really good spot.
My recommendation, you might have to wait an hour or two for it, is Main Street on the Emporium side. And the reason I say that side is because you'll have shade. The other side, like Starbucks side, you're just going to be melting in the sun. Brutality. You do not want to. It's so hot right now. Or you just watch it at Small World somewhere if you could find shade down there. But DA, I don't know the time of that cavalcade. It's probably like 11 or 12, somewhere in that range. But yeah, good luck on the virtual queue. I hope you get it. And if you don't get it, may the force be with you at 12 o'clock. uh, do you think we get new foods to celebrate Walt? I heard we were, but where's the foodie guide? I don't. Right? Do you think we get new foods?
The only thing I could think of was like a special menu at like Carnation or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I
Yeah.
could think of.
Like, do we still have Walt's chili? Is that a thing?
Yeah, Walt's Chili is still there, and they have the drink that he used to drink too, because they serve cocktails there now. So
Ah, damn. Yeah, Carnation Cafe should have just had like a all Walt menu. That'd have been cool. That'd have been cool. Um, it's just Quinn says, what do you think of rumor FNAF is on Terror Tram and Scare Zone at Orlando for HHN? The camera is Saw. Um, I have heard that FNAF is a possibility in Terror Tram. Not that long ago, I think it was Christian in the Parks posted like it looked like a press release of Terror Tram, and I'm starting to believe that even more. I asked him back then if it was press release, but a lot of people were saying it was Chat GBT. I was like, I don't know what the hell it is. I didn't post that, but I am hearing just rumor that FNAF might be on Terror Tram. Five Nights at Freddy's and Blumhouse themselves are going to be at Comic-Con on 7/24, so right around the corner. And it really seems like that'll be the day where all the news of Five Nights at Freddy gets unleashed. A new trailer, probably details of the house. We're going to Horror Nights, those kind of announcements. That might be the big day at Comic-Con. Danny brought up a good point because we were talking about this like ourselves, like outside of this live stream. Maybe there's some Five Nights at Freddy 2 stuff that's going on that we just don't know about yet. Because at this point they said Five Nights at Freddy's, but that could be 1 and 2 for all we know. What are your thoughts on that, Danny? On that whole thing?
yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Five Nights at Freddy's. The Universal loves to promote and include stuff, right? So they might want to not, they've already kind of quasi said that Five Nights at Freddy's is coming through some person that said something. I forgot who it was. Um, but they haven't officially announced it yet or added to the website. And it could be that it's because, it has elements in it from the second movie that they, don't want to reveal yet until people have seen the trailer. And so that could be, like Mondo was saying, a good time for them to do it when they're at Comic-Con. So that's a possibility. I gotta admit, I'd kind of be bummed if it was the Terror Tram and it wasn't a maze. I had thought, Mondo, you had got confirmation
No,
somehow.
it's for sure behind Transformers. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the facade, and I'm just talking about like while on the studio tour. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't even think John's Murdy's has confirmed that yet. Because I'm saying this like Five Nights at Freddy tease that happened from Blumhouse or Blum himself back then. I don't think it was supposed to be a thing. It just kind of he did it and Horror Nights had to roll with it. That's how it feels. But yeah, Comic-Con might be the day we all get the juicy details that we've been waiting for. Let me see. We got. Could Clown Cafe be a thing for HHN? I almost guarantee it is. One of their biggest draws of the event, not having a restaurant. I think if Clown Cafe takes over anything, it would be Hollywood and Dine, which is currently Jaws. So I think that could be Clown Cafe. Or Lemley Court, where they did the Star Trek bar. They could do it in there too. There's a couple of opportunities to do it.
Yeah, it's safe to say that if Five Nights at Freddy's is in that behind Transformers house, typically the maze that's there will receive the treatment at the bar above Jurassic.
Yeah.
So we could probably expect like a Five Nights at Freddy's themed bar for the location above Jurassic, just based on the coincidence of that always being tied together. And like Mondo was saying, we usually see one of the other mazes take over Hollywood and Dine on the upper lot right when you first walk in there by Waterworld. So that could be a possibility. Isn't and then there'd also too usually a pop-up food location on the lower lot in between like where they
Like
sell
and
the Nintendo snacks. And then right across the way that dessert location is usually HHN related too. So we could see a bunch of pop-up locations in all over the place, honestly.
is there
So
like a Five Nights at Freddy ice cream kind of thing that could happen?
no, I think the easiest one for them to do would be pizza and cupcakes. Like
Yeah, just
that's the easiest
money
one for them to do
maker.
it. The cupcake would sell them money like no one's business.
You
Like
could just
everyone's gonna
book
want that
it.
cupcake.
There will be pizza in the lower lot, just guaranteed. Like, there's no way
Yeah.
there isn't. Mac Cheese. Any advice on RIP? I was thinking about doing the 8 p.m., but I'm worried I wouldn't be able to go through RIP Express before my time. Uh, yeah, they don't really give you the lanyard. You kind of only get like 15 minutes before your time, like your slot. So if you're 8, you'll get your lanyard 7:45. It's not
Yeah.
really like oh, I'm gonna go do a bunch of mazes then start my RIP tour. Um,
Yeah, I don't like the 8 p.m. start time, honestly. I'm
it's
not a fan
no,
of that.
it's the one of the worst.
Yeah.
You want to be in the 5:45 to 6:30 range. That's the prime real estate of RIP. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there's not much tips to give to RIP because your guide is going to be incredible. The guides are always incredible for RIP. Um, let me see. I want to bring up this real quick, Danny. We're going to go back to Disneyland. This was a post theme park detective, and we actually got visuals on High Key Club. The High Key Club. Uh, this is like the first video I've seen. I don't know if there's anything else. But there it is, Danny. High Key Club. You got to be rich to go up in here. But this was something that we talked about last week, so I just wanted to bring it up now. I don't know if he shows the food. I don't remember seeing the food. But those are the views that you get from this experience at High Key Club. What are your thoughts? How do you feel like it's played out?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. There's some of the food right there, or at least it looks like he's there in between service, and there's probably
Yeah.
not everything put out because there are like in between service periods where, you know, breakfast is ending and they haven't put out the midday like appetizers and snacks. What he didn't show was the Cassimber desk. I want to see what that looks like. You can kind
Mhm.
of maybe see it right there in the distance, but um, I also didn't we didn't get to see the buffet. I want to see that
Yeah, I
more.
wanted to see the buffet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I also want to see around the corner, right? Like we absorbed the fairy tale suite. Like we lost the fairy tale suite, so I want to see like what that really added on to the club. So I have a chance to visit that this week, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to
Danny's gonna
show
be
that as
busy.
best. Yeah, I'm gonna try to show that as best I can when I go. But it's the literally the former e-ticket club, now the High Key Club, has the best views you'll ever have in Disneyland. I think the biggest change right now that I think is the best part about it is that the club is all one level. It used to be dual level before,
Mm.
which was great for being on the upper level and seeing out the window so that like I know the reason why they did it was because you can have people sit on the upper level and see the fireworks over the people that are sitting down below. But now they have so much room to spread out. It just makes it so much better for them to just do it all the same level because the different levels really made it hard to have more seating. And so this is, I think, much better option for maximum amount of seating.
Dude, this lounge for firework viewing is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
it don't get you're I don't know. Do they pump the firework like Wondrous Journey in here or
They
no?
do, yeah. They pump the fireworks. And just to
Wow.
clarify for people, this is not a club. This is not a restaurant or a bar or a lounge. This is a concierge lounge for guests that have concierge level rooms. So you cannot book a reservation to go here. You cannot just go here. You have to be staying in a concierge room at a Disneyland hotel, or you have to be staying in a suite at the Design Hotel that you've added concierge access onto, which is an additional, usually almost 200 or even 200 plus per night just to do it on your suite. So it's quite a bit of money to go to go up there, but they do serve food all day long, um, and they all the alcohol is included. And then there's usually, it's typically like a more VIP experience. So there's a cast member desk in there. So you're usually doing your check-in inside the lounge rather than the front desk. And if you've ever been to Disneyland Hotel, you know that sometimes the front desk lines are really long. So you go from the valet drive. You're met by someone that works in the concierge level. They're going to take you upstairs to the concierge lounge to do your check-in privately in the concierge lounge, and then that is your lounge for the rest of your stay. The rooms are typically on the few floors or on the same floor as the club, so you don't have to go very far to get to the lounge. Unless you're a suite, right, that you've added the services, in which case you could be in a different tower. But this is only an experience some people will get to see. So it's not something that everyone gets to experience,
It's
which
expensive, straight
it's
up.
expensive. Yeah, it's expensive. But for people that do concierge at Disney, they have it at every resort hotel here and Walt Disney World for the most part, at least the deluxe ones. And people who do it, they love it and they're obsessed with it and they do it all the time. So I personally like don't couldn't spend that much money on a room per night, but for the people that they don't want to think about their food, that's the place they want to do it. So
Hmm. Um, the last thing I want to mention, there's going to be the final verse that's going to be added to It's a Small World, and that'll be on Thursday as well. For all we know, maybe it's already there today because media's there. So,
yeah, that's
but
true. I didn't think about
for,
that.
for us, the regular people, I guess we'll experience it Thursday. So I just wanted to bring that up. Closing thoughts, Danny, and let people know if you have any content on the horizon, my friend.
Yeah, no, the small world verse is a good point. I'm glad you brought it up. Um, it's crazy because like the small world that like it's changing forever on Thursday. It'll never go back to the way it was before. It's always going to be this new version. So like if I that's why I told people on like the videos that I posted in the podcast and stuff, like to go experience it if you want to see and remember the song the way it was. I'm sure you can always listen to the song too cuz like all current versions of the song anywhere are going to be the current version of Small World, but they're changing the lyrics, right? They're adding a whole new verse onto the song, which is going to make it longer. It probably won't flow the same when you think about singing it. It's gonna before it goes back to the chorus again. It's gonna do like an extended verse, so it's gonna change the way it sounds when you're in the ride. Um, and I almost wonder too, Mondo, how um, I'm more interested to see how they incorporate this verse into the holiday version, or if just the holiday version doesn't have this verse,
I know,
and it's
because
just
does it translate to that? That's a good question.
yeah.
I don't know, Danny.
Well, so we'll have to see. Like maybe the holiday version just won't have that. But it's interesting. So yeah, like it'll be a whole new thing. There is a documentary um of this, which I think you can already watch, of this change on Disney Plus. But the documentary will also be playing on loop inside Disneyland Park, in the Main Street Cinema on Main Street. So instead of the cartoons playing in there, they will have the documentary playing on loop all day long during the 70th,
That's
starting on Thursday.
cool. Wow,
And
we
so
got
that's
a lot of
why
things to cover, dude.
Tilly, the little magic band souvenir that you get from Tilly there at the Main Street Cinema, it's a ticket for the last verse because that
Mm,
theater will be playing the last verse documentary on loop starting Thursday.
wow. It might even be tomorrow, Danny, because the whole media bonanza tomorrow, cast member previews, all that stuff. It's gonna be a great week out here. They're saying don't forget Walt Disney World gets the final verse. Uh, is it only us two that get the final verse, or everybody's getting the final verse?
It's probably only us because they don't have like make those kind of decision changes, right? For like Japan or anything.
Yeah.
They could do it for
Paris?
Paris if they wanted to,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I haven't
Not
been to those parks,
Shanghai.
so
Not
yeah, they
none of
can't make those changes for Shanghai.
Hong
I don't think
Kong.
Shanghai has Small World. Um, but Tokyo has it, but Tokyo still has Splash Mountain. You know what I mean? So like they don't make the same changes
Yeah, they
that we
do what
do.
they want over there. But closing thoughts, Danny, and content that you got on the.
Yes, yeah. So I'm excited for Thursday. I want to be able to see all this stuff in person. Back to also Mondo, like I don't know, we don't really know anything about what's happening that day, right? So I'm hoping there's a free giveaway, and in which case I'm gonna be there really early anyway, just to try to hopefully get that if there is.
Rope drop.
So that's yeah, that's the main goal on Thursday. But as far as content goes, I will have a video comes out before Thursday of this past weekend, and then I'm not going to do a podcast until after Thursday, so I can like talk about my experience on everything.
All right, all right. Um, Before we get out of here, did Autopia Magic Band interaction ever get added? It did.
Yes.
It was just extremely low energy. I don't even know how else to say it. That's the only way I can say it. But it's
And
there though.
half the time there's a guest sitting in front of it.
I know that happened to me, and I was like, I'm not even gonna ask that person because it just doesn't matter. That happened to me though, Danny. That happened to me. I was like, I'm not gonna bother. That person looks comfortable right there. Thank you everybody for watching Speculation Sunday. I'm very excited for the future of Disney. This Walt Animatronic, it's kind of like the spark to all the future. You know, Avatar. Avenger Campus is full steam ahead. Coco at some point in time, and who knows what else gets announced? Maybe we get more announcements and surprises on August for Destination D23, because there is a show that is very struggling and it needs a dragon. I hope we get a dragon back so bad, so bad.
Oh,
or at least they
there's
talk
one
about.
more. There's one more thing, Mondo, I wanted to discuss really quick before we go, unless you have to
Yeah,
go.
no. Let's talk about it.
Real quick before we go, and then we'll go for sure. This is only gonna take like a minute. I just sent you an article, something that Mondo and I talked about. So the OC Register actually posted an article, or they posted an article on their website, but they also had it in the paper, and they talked about the future of the monorail because of Avatar.
No, we need to talk about this. We need to talk.
Yeah,
about it.
and so they also referenced an article that Mice Chat posted, which I just sent to Mondo now. So according to the OC Register article, and they get comments directly from Disney. In that article, they also shared too some details about the attraction that I had never heard before. And the way they describe the attraction, it really does indicate that it's probably going to be the Shanghai Pirates or something really similar. It's a very they want to emphasize that it is a very thrilling boat attraction. So it's going to have some sort of thrill element to it. It's probably going to be Shanghai Pirates. That's my guess on it all. But they talked about the monorail. And according to the article on OC Register, they said that Disneyland is still not sure yet, or they haven't shared more as probably more likely their decision to either move the monorail or conceal the monorail. Because right now, if you can imagine, the monorail runs across the front half of Monsters Inc. And it also runs across the front half of Stage 17, which is right next to Monsters Inc. on the left. So in the terms of Avatar, it's either going to run through the middle of the land or directly in front of the land, depending on the positioning of everything. And so it will be kind of hard. It's something that they have to conceal, right? Because they can't have a monorail going through Pandora.
Yeah, Avatar.
But the big question is whether or not the monorail gets rerouted or it gets concealed. And that's what the article was talking about. They have kind of versions of Disney hasn't decided according to OC Register, because they have versions of the art that conceals the monorail and some where they don't even consider the monorail because they reroute it. I had always heard that don't want to reroute the monorail, because if they make changes to it, then it requires them to bring the monorail up to current day standards and code. And the monorail isn't that right now, right? And it's grandfathered in because it's such an old monorail. It's from like the 60s. So, I mean, the current monorails aren't from the 60s, but the track and layout and everything is. And so it's definitely not to code the way things operate now in, the 2020s. So if they did change anything, California state legislature would require changes to bring things up to current code. And I had always heard that that's why they wouldn't change it, is because it would require those changes, because it would ruin its grandfathered state. It's the reason why all of the attractions in Fantasyland have way skinny lines and don't have very wide queues that are accessible. It's because they're grandfathered. They don't have, and if they don't, as long as they don't make large structural changes to it, they don't have to bring it up to code. It's grandfathered. So that's what I had thought. But Mice Chat actually posted an article about the monorail being rerouted, and then they drew a line on where they thought it could go. And this is their indication here of that.
And who talked about that right when we got that concept art? If you guys remember, we mentioned it when this got debuted right here. It sounded so weird to say at the time, but that this is actually old concept art. This is not really the route that they're trying to go with. And the monorail, it's still up in the air how it will play out. But the big rumors I've always heard is that there is another big ass hotel coming somewhere, and they wanted to connect to the monorail. I don't know how the hell that's going to play out, because we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars at play. But we'll see. The future is extremely bright. Disney.
Yeah, just to be clear, this concept art here does not show the monorail being rerouted. But like Mondo said, this could be old concept art.
Yeah.
Because Disney wasn't ready to share yet that the monorail would be changed, because they hadn't according to the OC Register, they haven't decided, right? They have two versions of how they're gonna do it, and I don't know. I just feel like they probably wouldn't move the monorail, but who knows? They could surprise us and
Disney
actually
got
decide
that.
to move it.
Disney got that Abu Dhabi money.
The problem is that if they did decide to reroute the monorail, it would be very expensive because of the retrofitting they would have to do on everything.
Yeah.
And
It'd
then
be down
on
for a
top
long
of
time.
that,
Very long
yeah,
time.
and then you brought up a good point. And to be on top of that, it would be years until we saw the monorail again. So that would be another thing. Like, they would have to be okay with taking it offline for so long. I mean, even in general, once construction starts on Avatar, the monorail is probably going to be offline anyway.
Oh, I guess
So
I'm looking at it that way too. Yeah.
so it's gonna be. I just feel like it would be even longer if they're gonna have to build a new monorail route, right? Because they have to, like, now there's like testing and continuity and rerouting of all, like, the systems and everything. So that, I feel like that's way more intensive than just blocking it off because the construction of Avatar is taking place right there in the
Yeah.
space.
I believe, like, what the one Mice Chat did, how it would essentially go behind the land.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, I'm just throwing it out there. What about if it goes around DCA? It just goes around DCA, wraps to one of the new hotels that gets built over there by ESPN Zone or Disneyland Forward, for all we know. There's a lot of possibilities. Disneyland, I'm just so happy that they're about to go into, like, what do they call it? Turbocharge mode? They're about to go into
Yeah.
and we still don't know
Palm
the 5 to
Tree.
10 year plan. That's where they spend the most money. So, damn.
No, I was gonna say, Palm Tree in the chat brings up a good point. Like, the speculation was that Avatar's coming in 2028, and if they do reroute it, then they have to start the work pretty soon. Work is starting soon. Like, Monsters Inc. is closing in early 2026. That's next year. That's only a few months away. So Monsters Inc. is gone, and I can guarantee you that Disney will move in there very quickly to tear that out. Like they're
Hey,
not going to waste any time to tear that out. It's going to be
Rivers of
torn
America, the
down.
next day they had teams out there over there in Florida. So they're not messing around.
Yeah. Yeah, Muppets was ripped out. Like all the stuff in Muppets was ripped out right away. So
Damn.
like they're gonna move fast on Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is coming down quickly. What we don't know is we don't know if Hollywood and Dine, the former Hollywood and Dine to the right of Monsters Inc. is going. We don't know if Hollywood Lounge is going, and we don't know if Stage 17 is going. We can assume so. And the OC Register also alluded to that as well in their article. They said all of those locations will be going.
Yeah,
Um,
in the Mice Chat one, they got everything gone. Like, look at that.
yeah,
Yeah, they just plopped it right there. You know
yeah.
what's
So that's a
interesting?
possibility.
They have the circle thing pointed at like Disneyland side. For some reason, Danny, I thought the circle thing would be on the bottom right, kind of looking to harbor side. That's interesting.
No, I pictured the circle thing. Actually, in my mind, I pictured the circle thing with its the being closest to the Esplanade. Because
Ah.
if you think about where my thought was, you would
And that's how
enter
it
the
is
land.
here. That's how it is here in the picture.
Yeah, kind of a little bit more so though, because my thought was, and Peter from Ordinary Adventures actually said this a really long time ago, and I agree with him, is that you would enter the land kind of closest to where Hollywood Lounge is in that back corner, and then you would kind of do a turn around so that you would like make a really sharp U-turn right there, to have that grand around the corner reveal of,
Mm.
the spaces that you're seeing in Avatar. And it would also help separate it from the park because it's going to look so different. So,
Mm. It's no longer like you're not entering through Philhar Magic or whatever. It's Hollywood,
right.
or yeah, Hollywood and Dine or whatever it's called. Wow, that's interesting. That's the cool. This is my first time seeing this image from Nice Chat. That's cool. Very interesting. Damn, man, we're in for a good. We're in for a good next 3 to 5 years. It's going to be incredible. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching Speculation Sunday on a Monday. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. We'll be blogging the heck out of everything on Thursday because that's when it all debuts. So see you real soon. We are firing it down, the Cali Bay. And just as Danny are calling it a day, I'm the main host, Mondo. Ah!